Hey, good Saturday morning to you. Welcome to our special Saturday morning edition of Mazes and Muses, roaming the labyrinth of creativity. I'm Dan Taylor, and with me is Steve Conley.
Good morning, Dan.
Now I got to
You
mute something here.
you have a magnificent radio voice on Saturdays. Why aren't we doing this on Saturdays?
I don't know why I have this voice. This is my FM DJ voice.
You traded your beard for syrup. Like you're just this smooth talker this morning. That's awesome.
All right, and we'll be playing "The Dark Side of the Moon" from Pink Floyd.
Wolfman Dan. Oh, good morning, Dan.
Good morning. How are you? Yeah, we're doing it on Saturday because if you're regular, there are no regular viewers on Sundays. But if you have watched this Mazes and Muses before, we're usually Sunday mornings, and it's football season. I'm a big Titans football fan, and tomorrow morning they're playing the Ravens in London. The game is early. We can't do it during our normal time, so we're doing it here. It's usually not like this during football season. Just during football season, I am ruled by the football gods.
If you're Fraley or David Gallagher, one of our many two viewers.
But maybe we'll find a whole new audience on Saturday. We were discussing that we're going to move it anyway, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a good idea. I try to do that with posting my webcomics. Oh, first of all, I'm Steve Conley. I write and draw the webcomic The Middle Age, and I make TTRPG content like the Emmy-nominated Intoximancy and the recent Death Dealing, which the cards are going out now, and the upcoming Prayers Handbook, which you can find out more at prayershandbook.com. And Dan, who the heck are you?
I am Dan Taylor, a part-time FM DJ, and I am a creator of tabletop role-playing game content as well, and the showrunner producer, dungeon master for Catacombs and Comedians, a actual play live D&D show where I take comedians and we play D&D at all sorts of comedy venues and such. And we're getting ready to start a new stream, hopefully in the next month or so. But everything's right now, it's getting ready for, hey, there's a new viewer. And getting ready for Gamehole Con, which is next weekend. We will both be at Gamehole Con. And I will be running the Catacombs and Comedians Presents Catacombs and Creators a show, and I guess it's Friday evening at Gamehole Con, and I've been very busy getting that ready.
And I think it's 6 p.m. it starts?
6 p.m. Friday, and there's still tickets available. It will be limited seating. So yeah, there's still plenty of tickets left, but hopefully it fills up. I threw out a, let's see, let me look real quick. And as I pop around here, because this makes great entertainment.
Well, from what I saw from their website, it looks like a lot of the stadium style, the non-participatory stuff, anything that's kind of an open seating or kind of a something happens on the stage and you're not part of it. Those seats, there tend to be lots of available spots. So I don't think that's uncommon.
Okay, I haven't bothered to check it out too much, so that is good to know. But with the show, we will be offering. Oops. A limited edition Gamehole exclusive poster print.
Awesome.
Since I'm from Nashville, show prints are kind of a big thing for when bands and groups and performers come to Nashville and play. So I've made them for a lot of my D&D shows here in Nashville and in Huntsville. And this is the game I'll be running, Flag and the Dragons Fungin. And as you can see right here, it's a Gamehole 2023 exclusive. So there's only going to be 50 of these available. And this is my bribery to get your asses in the seats for the show. And but there'll be other goodies as well. I've got stickers. I love, if regular viewers of here know that, oh, thank you. Regular viewers know that I am a whore when it comes to creating merch and stuff. So there'll be stickers and pins and buttons and T-shirts and all sorts of stuff. So anyway, that is our exclusive poster that we will have available at the show. We hope to see you there.
That looks great. Nicely done.
Thanks. And Steve, you're going to be playing.
I'm excited. I'm so excited. This is my first time playing in front of a crowd. So it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun.
And you've done like panels before shows, right?
Yeah. I'm not going to be sweating and stammering the whole time, unless that's in character.
Oh, and speaking of character, this is who we've got. Steve Conley is Angus McGuffin.
I love that drawing. Shout out to the artist who did that.
Stephen Coughlin did it. He's my regular character artist for all the Catacombs and Comedians characters.
A lovely job. Yeah, these is level 4 Intoximancer, based on the subclass book I put together of Intoximancy, and it's going to be a lot of fun to play him.
So this will be people who aren't familiar with your product, the Intoximancer. You explain it.
Yeah, it is a wizard subclass focused on drinking. There aren't rules for drinking in D&D, not official rules. There should be. There's so many taverns in D&D. So intoxication, as I see it, and maybe as the dungeon master of the game sees it, is pleasantly experiencing the poisoned condition. So Intoximancers don't feel that. They don't have the negative effects of intoxication, but they do have some magic related to it. They have a magic flagon, which gives them some boosts and things like that. It's a really fun class. It's the subclass book that I did that got the ENnie nomination. So this is a chance to play it to battle test it a little more than I had during play testing. So this is gonna be fun.
Play testing? Who needs play testing?
I just like playing. The testing part is actually highfalutin.
So yeah, and it'll be interesting to run this as a dungeon master because I have no idea. You can make up stuff while we're playing because yes, I've got the book, but I haven't gone through it too much. I haven't memorized it.
I haven't memorized it either. I was making a level 4 Intoximancer. I'm like, what do they get at level 4? They have any boost to level 4? I'm like, this is actually this is fun. I was actually, yeah, I did a pretty good job.
And Thomas Gofton will be one of our players too, and he will be he's playing a custom character too from one of his creations. So, and you guys could just totally steamroll me, and I'll have no idea what's going on.
No, I don't play them. I don't have the character's not like that. This character's an older human. It's hard to tell. Like I sent along a little sketch of what roughly I thought he looked like. You're like, is he a gnome? Is he a dwarf? Is he what is he? And he's like a 73-year-old man, and a 73 years young man, and he's gonna be fun. He's gonna be fun. But no, there's nothing about him that's broken. All his stats, I did the stat buy system. I didn't roll to have he's got all 18s. I'm not gonna play like that. So
I think Matt Forbeck, who will be playing with us as well, who's worked on every role-playing game under the sun, and he's playing because I said everybody's 4th level character, I think. Or 4th or 5th, I can't remember. I know that I told you 4th. I may have told them 5th. I don't know. But he's like a multi-class character, like 4 different classes, all 1st level.
Beautiful.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. What I love about that is what I love about these kind of one-shots is you can experiment with stuff. Like, let's try a build I've never tried before. Let's try the most ridiculous. Hopefully he went with ranger, sorcerer, cleric, paladin, some weird, what are you doing? These things don't go together. And
then Anthony Joyce Rivera will be playing with us as well, and I believe he is a goblin witch type character. So it's going to be an interesting, fun thing. Like I said, we're doing Flagon the Dragon's Fungin. I've run variations of this before with other groups of the comedians live on stage. I'm tweaking this a little more. I'm adding a little more to it. So we'll see how it goes. I've got a ton of, last minute work to do on it, because I'm a procrastinator to the highest degree, and I tend to work better under pressure. I mean, that's exactly because I just finished that essay for the Fabulous Flops book for Ghost Press or Ghost Show Press. And I took it to the wire. I think it's due tomorrow, and I turned it in yesterday or 2 days ago.
You happy with it?
I am happy with it. It took me a little longer because I ended up going a weird route with it, but I wrote it as if studio executives were playing a role-playing game called Movies and Multiplexes.
Okay. Okay.
because the essay I do is on Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. So we'll see how. Hey, the guy putting the book together, uh, he loved it. Well, he said he liked it and it was good and entertaining and funny. So
Oh,
that's
that's
all I could
good.
ask for.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I can't wait to see it.
So that's coming out, and so that's off my plate. Now it's getting ready for Game Hole Con, which is.
So you do feel how prepared on a 1 to 10? How prepared are you?
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
I'm a 2.
Oh gosh. Okay. All right.
But that just, I know where everything is. I just got to put it all back, put it all together, because I've still got I got a trunk where I pull the whole Catacombs of Comedians thing on.
Nice.
And so I just got to reorganize that from my various live shows and, get the Fez out, the Fez of Dungeon Mastering.
And you're driving, so you get to bring a chest of stuff. That's. I was thinking about it because thankfully you got those 3 boxes I sent of stuff. I was actually thinking next year I have to drive. I have to, the idea of going to one of these shows, not knowing what to expect. I've never exhibited at a gaming convention before. I might sell nothing and I might sell out on Friday. I have no idea what to expect. The idea that I don't have a backup plan, that if I do, I could sit there and draw. I can hand out cards. I don't, that would be, I really shouldn't even think like that. I've never had to deal with the best case scenario. It's always like, oh, your table's under this leaky roof, and it's in the shade, and no one can find you, and it's surrounded by panthers. So I don't know what to expect. But driving probably would have been smarter.
When I would fly to shows, it's like this big trunk that I have. I don't know. It's like a large, I don't know, like 3 feet long, 1.5 feet deep type of thing.
Like a Foot Locker kind of thing?
Yeah. And I even flew with that back in the day when I had the comic books. I would just bring what would fit in that,
Right.
check that. That would be my checked luggage. And because, but yeah, I've got all sorts of things. I don't know exactly how the setup's going to be that we have. So I'm not worried about furniture. I don't know. Apparently do I bring my mic stands? I got table mic stands I have to use because some of the comedy clubs don't have those, amazingly enough.
Wow.
They've got standing ones, but
I gotta think they'll have that.
Table. Yeah.
You have a table drape, don't you?
Yeah. But again, I can throw it all in my pickup and drive up. So I'll have all sorts of things. So if you have any last minute stuff, I'm leaving, get it to me by Tuesday evening, because I'm packing everything up Wednesday morning.
I think the ship has sailed for stuff. They had really interesting rules for mailing stuff to the event, but you kind of had to indicate your booth number, and I don't have a booth number. It's just a table. It's in the artist author area. So I thought if I mail it to that, Steve Conley, care of random location. I thought care of no fixed address. I thought, I'm not going to get my stuff.
With that information, was it kind of like, was it all union? Like, because I don't know, you've done San Diego before, right?
Chicago, those two cities.
Where they send you that whole giant binder of union rules about what you can, how you can ship it and what you have to do. And I never bothered with that. I just brought it all myself, and
smart. And people get around it because you can't have a hand truck on the floor, so everyone's got like a baby carriage. Like the people wheeling the bassinet, and it's full of books. It's terrible.
So yeah, and I don't have a table, so I don't need to worry about product, and I don't have product to sell. So
but you'll be mingling and making connections, and
that's the plan. I got a new batch of 0 level media business cards that are just been printed, and I got to go pick up today. I've got the poster prints I got to go pick up today.
Do you think in the future, if you is that something like, I know we've talked about having 4D20 out in the next year. Do you think by Game Hole Con 2024 you might get a booth?
Oh yeah,
that's awesome. So you're working towards setting up, and not because I know I think of you partly as entertainer because of the Catacombs of Comedians, right? You're kind of you're sort of a more of guest quality person, not dealer kind of,
Well, that's the goal. I mean, I would love to be a guest at all these things, so I don't have to buy a table or a booth.
But there seems to be the rub there is that you're then on panels that are taking place during show hours, right?
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, ultimately, my goal would be to like someone like you, and I'm not putting you under the pressure here, but it would be like team up with someone like you who has a table or a booth.
Right. I could see once I have more of a sense of what the place is like, maybe getting a booth might make more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Or for all I know, by the time you leave this, you're going to be, you're going to have pitched 40-20 to Free League or something like that, and you'll be under their umbrella or something.
I will be stopping on my way up to, get some research material, because research material is illegal in my state.
Gotcha.
But I will be driving through the fine state of Illinois on my way up, and so it should be a good time.
Yay!
I'm not a drinker, so
yeah, me neither. I'm a teetotaler in every way. I did Intoximancy, and it got all this attention, and people are like, Steve, it's so silly that you have this project that's successful and you don't drink. I'm like, well,
I mean, I did back in the day. When I wrote created the comic book series Hero Happy Hour about superheroes hanging out in a bar. I did a lot of research.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're how many years sober now?
11 years sober.
Hot dog. Dog. Good for you.
So, or we call it California sober.
What does that mean?
That means I do partake in the other.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. You're a different class of entertainment. That's great. When talking about 40-20, it made me think about Ghostfire Games have their podcast and they stream it on YouTube. I enjoy it every week. It's a good conversation with the 4 creators, and they were talking about the play testing of the Matt Colville system, MCDM's new RPG. I hope I'm not switching. We can jump back to game.
No, let's just move.
I thought it was fascinating. They had a really interesting mechanic, and it's been stuck in my head since. And I didn't know if it had any application to what you're cooking up, because kind of got rid of the 2-hit roll in combat, or coupled it with damage roll. So when you roll, applying the 5, let's think about 5e for a moment. If the creature has an armor class of 12 and you roll a 12, you do 1 point of damage. If you roll a 19, you've just done 7 points of damage. It's that sort of thing where the higher you adjusted for your stats. So if you have +7 to the roll and you have now it's a 23, you've now done 11. So basically, the higher you roll, the better you perform in your roll, the more damage you do. And so it's not a separate damage roll. I imagine there's other things you would add because it's swords flaming or it.
Right, yeah.
I love that idea of streamlining those two things. And if you roll poorly, they get an instant counter attack against you. So there's a price for taking a swing at somebody. Like, oh, and you missed badly, they punched you in the head back, or they blocked your and stabbed you.
I've got right now what I've got in my combat is, because I'm since it is 4d20, I'm trying to pull some elements of d20 to make it familiar. But my combat it's a skill that you have based. Just like investigation might be a skill. So is offense and defense. They're 2 different skills. And so you can apply more of you can focus more on being an offensive attacker or more of a defender. And that would and all combat is a
skill challenge.
Yeah, it's a skill challenge, but it's a if you've got a character with a 4 defense +4 defense, and I've got +2 offense, I'm -2 to hit whatever my roll is on you.
Right.
So I've got physical combat and magic combat. So you have so both of them, because then that's what I'm doing right now, because it's 4d20, and you depending on how many rolls goes over the number you need to hit, that's what
how high the roll is, you might say.
Yeah, how high. That's how well you do. The higher the better, obviously.
Obviously.
But I'm still working out. I'm hung up on trying to figure out the skills, because I want to
Do you break skills down? This is fascinating. Do you break skills down offense? Like, do you say, okay, this is a basic offense roll accounts for all weapons, but you might have are proficiencies a thing in your game?
No, it's just going to be all weapons, you know. And I'm thinking about doing physical from doing it as well, you know, separating melee and range, but that would be it.
Right.
So
So
yours
range
good.
is like a different class of attack, like magic is, or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. There's 3 ways of attack, you know, magic, range, or, you know, and magic, it doesn't matter. It's either touch or, you know,
Firebolts,
range. It would just be, so there'd be basically, I guess, 3 forms of attacking and 3 forms of, but there's only 2 forms of defense, you know, because whether there's not range defense and range and melee defense. It's just
right. So physical versus and magical. That's excellent.
And then
I love that.
And like, because what I want to do is also, like I've discussed before, I have 4 abilities: mind, body, soul, and spirit. And like, you could be good at combat because your body, you're physical, or maybe it's your spirit because you got a lot of moxie.
What's the distinction between spirit and soul?
Spirit is more like moxie, you know, the personality.
Gotcha.
So spirit's more like charisma.
So when you say someone's spirited, they have a spirited personality. That kind of
like
gung ho. Captain America might be spirited.
Yeah. Right. And soul is more wisdom, you know, how in tune you are with not the magic side, but just the universe around you, the cosmos.
Okay. I like it.
And then your hit points are pretty much those 4 abilities added up.
I like it.
That's what, you know.
It feels like Marvel in a way. Like, it feels like it's simple. And when I say Marvel, I mean, I know not talking about the Matt Forbeck's current iteration of the game, but I'm thinking about the old face rip system, the old TSR Marvel, where, I mean, I think people could bash it a little bit for being simple, but I love that. I love that it wasn't complicated. It was like you could just get started. You know, some of these other games I played, Blades in the Dark, a lot of fun. Blade Runner, a lot of fun. But there is like, you know, there is a 101 course you need to start with before you get rolling dice. You know, I like kind of getting right into the thick of it. Were there any other images from Flag and the Dragon or prep work for Gamehole Con that you want to share? Or
no, I'm keeping it all pretty much secret for now.
Awesome.
Yeah. I do have my other Steve, not Steve Coughlin and not Steve Conley, but Steve Musgrave. He's doing some illustration for the Flag and the Dragon module. Yeah, I was hoping I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that at the end of the game I can say, okay, if you enjoyed this adventure, go to Drive-Thru RPG and you can get the module here.
Awesome.
So I've got he's doing some line work, you know, just, you know, good old fashioned black and white line work.
Love it.
And he's supposed to wrap that up for me today. And, you know, I may be burning midnight oil on come Tuesday night to, you know, finish it all up. And
you say May? See, the thing is, you said procrastinate. I don't think you procrastinate. I think you embellish. You like, okay, I have this thing. It's going to take me 2 hours. And 6 hours later, you're adding little tweaks to it and stuff like that. It always comes out more intricate than I think. And then I think that's where it more like, is that fair to say?
It is to an extent, because, you know, bless his heart, Christopher was bugging me for, you know, just, hey, you're going to turn that in time, right? I need, you know, the essay for Fabulous Flops. I'm like, yeah, I promise. It's almost there. You know, and I had it halfway done on my hard drive forever.
Right.
But I just, and I have realized.
Star Marshals too. You had it like, it's that, it was done. I read it before the Kickstarter began. Yeah. And you're like, okay, done. I'm gonna do like a couple of tweaks to it. Like,
yeah, let me just add this. Let me just do the, okay,
big ads and all sorts of other cool stuff.
Yeah, so Star Marshals is another thing. As soon as Gamehole Con, I got to jump on that and get the, you know, check on the printing and see how that goes, and, you know, start getting physical stuff out on that. But yeah, it's just been a busy week of all sorts of things because, you know, Catacombs of Comedians. I actually contacted there's a comedy club called Helium that's just down the street from the Indianapolis Convention Center.
Really?
So I contacted them saying, hey, I I think that week would be a good time to have Catacombs of Comedians play your comedy club.
What is for Gen Con?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I haven't heard back. I just sent that out yesterday.
Wow. Oh, fingers crossed, dude. That's awesome. That would be. You know what? I think that would work. I think that would be I think that could bring people in.
I mean, it wouldn't be a Gen Con event. It would be its own.
No.
Yeah.
I'm sure, but every restaurant is it's like when you go to I don't know, even Heroes Con or Baltimore Comic Con, the local restaurants are always like the wait staff are dressed in capes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone, the town gets into it, and yeah, the idea that there'd be a comedy club near there, certainly near somebody's hotel, that's gonna.
I mean, it's just down. It's literally down the street. Maybe not even half a mile. Maybe.
Wow.
It's easy walking distance. I passed it going to Spaghetti Factory.
Brilliant.
And they've got 2 rooms. They got a main showroom and then a smaller venue upstairs.
Have you been in? And you're going to Gary Con, right?
Yeah.
I still have no information about Gary Con having. I wrote them saying, "Hey, is there any tables? Is there an artist alley or anything like that?" And so far, I haven't heard any information about there being one. So I don't think it's an appropriate place for me. You know, I guess if I want to get a booth, but I'm not there yet. I don't have enough material.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Gary. This will be my first time at Gary Con too, and I'm just DMing 2 games for the masses. You know, no show, nothing. And I'll probably be running Flag in the Dragon. I am running Flag in the Dragons, Fungin there. I'm just putting my toe in it just to test Gary Con. I didn't plan a bunch of games every day. I'm just like a 10 o'clock game on Friday and Saturday, and then the rest I'll just be exploring and checking.
Are you able to drive to that one, or are you flying?
I don't know. I haven't made up my mind. That's not till March or May. Right.
You got some time.
It's one of the M months. So
that's awesome.
I don't know exactly. That I might fly up for, since I don't need to bring stuff for a show. Right. And it all depends. I don't know how close Lake Geneva is to the closest airport. And when I travel for this type of stuff shows, I'm like, okay, yeah, I can fly. And that, saves a lot of time. But how much time am I saving if I got to get to an airport early, fly there, get out of the airport, get a rental car, drive,
possibly have a connection,
my final destination?
Yeah.
So I might as well just drive,
Yeah.
That way I'm not, I don't have to share an armrest with a stranger.
Yeah.
I don't, I can pee when I want, and I don't have to worry about the cart and the what, just.
Yeah. That line to get on the plane and the jetway is always like, people are like in a hurry to go nowhere. It's so tiring. I'm not excited about that part of it.
I'm not a huge flying fan, and I'm not afraid to fly or anything like that. It's just, and I don't mind flying if I'm flying with my wife, because I just shut down. It basically, she puts one of those little kid, leashes on me at the airport, and I just follow her, and she
tell me where to go.
Yeah. Gets me on the plane and gets me off the plane, and that I love her for that, amongst many other things. But that's all that's how I travel. I don't.
So your shows for 2024, I feel like Gamehole kind of puts a button on 2023. For 2024, you're going to do? Are you going back to Gen Con? I'm going back to
Gen Con, and we'll see what I do in an official capacity at Gen Con as far as what Zero Level Media or Catacombs of Comedians does. I don't, I might, I can put in for, DM some games and stuff like that, or, try to talk Catacombs of Comedians. I know, like Thomas Crofton, who we'll be playing with at Gamehole Con, I played one, he had rooms and stuff for his shows, and I think he had a podcast set up at Gen Con. So, I could talk to him, get a feel from him next week about how I might, approach things and stuff like that. So Gen Con I'm definitely going to Gen Con. Maybe, hopefully things work out with the comedy club and I can do Catacombs Comedians there. And then I would like to do something as well officially at Gen Con as well, rather than just going as a fan as I did last year.
Gotcha. So next year you got, in addition to, you mentioned some local comic book shows and things like that possibly doing.
Yeah, I haven't hit any of those yet.
But next year you're going to do Gamehole Con again, presumably, Gary Con and Gen Con. Any others? Are you thinking Origins? Are you thinking PAX or any of those things, or no?
Maybe PAX East Coast.
Okay.
I I hear it's a fun game or a fun show and stuff like that. But again, I might just go as a. I don't know. I don't know if I. Who knows?
Yeah, I feel like going to shows is getting a sense of them, getting a feel for them. And one of the things I'm absolutely going to do at Gamehole Con is I'm just going to take my iPhone and walk through the hall and video the hall. Basically, just because I can't find a video of that anywhere. I want to get a sense. I'm not sure if it ever have any views on anything, but I feel like I want to get a sense of what are we doing here? Like how big is this thing? And I can't wrap my head around it yet. I know it's 80 tables. But I don't, so I can get a sense of kind of how big that is if each booth is 10 by 10. But is it a short ceiling like SPX? Is it a cavernous convention center like Baltimore Comic Con? Is this what are we? I don't know. I wish I had a sense of what the environment was like. These are the questions I would ask the DM before entering the room. Okay, describe the room to me. And I feel like no one's able to provide that information. But I do have artwork for the Prayer's Handbook, and by the way, more and more I am leaning toward calling it that. The metadome. Okay, so I got the Dan Taylor, the chaotic neutral Dan Taylor. I wish you were still the chaotic good. Where's that beard? I could share that here. I think I can. Window. This is my iPad screen. In the program I'm drawing it in.
Right.
So that's how it's coming along so far. Oh, I can put the placeholder type. You can see all my too many layers. So the part I'm still working on is all that purple scribbling on the bottom right. The idea that the character's walking on white paper that's got a grid on it, like graph paper. There's mountains drawn on it, kind of the Tolkien-esque mountainside, and then a character sheet, and the idea that the kind of the environment, the tree and the helmet kind of turn into classic line artwork. And that's absolutely a nod to the Warduke helmet.
I was going to say, yeah, that's got some Warduke vibes going there.
But I gave it the feathers instead of the dragon wings. So, or the dragon wings, dragon ears. I don't know. The bat wing, those kind of bat wing dragons.
Yeah.
But that's how it's coming so far. But if people want to queue up when that goes live, it's prayershandbook.com will take you to the placeholder page for Kickstarter. I think 170 people are queued up right now. I was hoping it was going to launch before we had out there, but it's not going to happen. I have too much prep to do for Gamehole Con. And I just need to take the pressure off of that before we just before we get there. I don't know. I'm feeling a little nervous about the show and the pre-show jitters.
Yeah, I've got so much to do, but I've got the comfort in the fact that I've run this, this show that I'm doing. I've run it 3 times before, so I've got that. I'm comfortable there.
That's great.
Yeah, and I bought myself the audiobook of Patrick Stewart's memoirs to listen to on the drive up there. So
your voice will be completely different by the time you get to the show.
Make it so.
Fantastic.
But yeah, this is my first, I did Gen Con, and that's the San Diego Comic Con of gaming shows. But I did that as a fan. And just like San Diego, I went as a fan. And then the next year I came back with, here's my comic book.
Do you cosplay at any of these things apart from the Fez? No?
Oh, I don't. I appreciate cosplayers. I admire their work. And I'm envious of their, not only their ability to accomplish it, but to just do it and walk out there like that. I'm just too much of an introvert to.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a fascinating thing about owning it, just owning it and just going like this. Yeah, this is me right now. Today, this is me. I would absolutely do it. I have like a closet full of like Ren Fair gear. If I didn't have to worry about because everything I would pack would be like, okay, how much does that weigh? And I could bring 2 more books, so it's like, I'm going to bring the books. I'm not going to bring my leather armor. I love doing that stuff. I'm a huge dork, and yeah, I kind of wish I could, but so that'll be another reason to drive next year. Not that I want to sit behind my table clanking around in armor trying to draw a sketch for somebody, but it's kind of fun.
Yeah, every now and then I just think about, let's do it, and I'm like, no, it's just not. That's not me.
Yeah, it's like the first few Ren fairs I went to, it was always like I'd be with a party of people, and I was I was dressed like the IT guy, and everyone else is in these wonderful dresses and wearing like pirate gear and looking awesome and having fun, and I'm just I can't do it. I can't do it until I finally did something. And the first time I'm there, I'm wearing like a cape and I'm going up to get like some stupid line to get a Pepsi or something like that. Again, totally incongruous to the verisimilitude of the event. And there's somebody who I know from outside of the world of comics and stuff like that. they caught Batman with his cowl down. It was very funny.
I've told you my Ren Fair stories, right?
You used to work at one, right?
Yeah, I did work at one. So I used to have all the costumes and stuff. So
you did?
Yeah, so I don't have them anymore.
Gotcha.
They just got lost in moves, or I'm like, I am never doing that again. So.
But was it easier when it was part of the gig? Like that's my uniform that I'm wearing to work.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, then it was no problem, And the Ren Fair stuff, because I wasn't wearing armor, I was dressed as a simple peasant for the most part. It's very comfortable, light, loose fit, So I was way more comfortable than a lot of the turkeys we call the people who pay to get in.
Well, there's it is a pain in the ass to put on armor. I have like a couple of like a pirate linen shirt kind of thing, and I can wear that. That's like easy. Yeah, but it's like I'd rather honestly, for comfort, I'd wear jeans and a t-shirt. Everything else is less than that in my mind.
Yeah. Hell, I'm at the age now. I've given up on jeans and I'm going to joggers now. So.
Was it the cargo shorts? Isn't that we're supposed to? Is that the last stop on the way to coffin formal wear?
I think I skipped cargo shorts.
Really?
Because joggers, I believe, because women have had the luxury of yoga pants for 2 decades now. And we're like, where was ours? And they're joggers. Joggers are the man's answer to yoga pants.
Wait, is there a distinction between joggers and sweatpants?
Yes.
What's the distinction?
They're a little more form-fitting, cut different. The pockets, okay. You'll see me next weekend wearing my joggers.
Okay, all right.
And more expensive.
Okay, that's the thing. It's like what's the difference between a grilled cheese and a panini? $8.
Yeah. What's the difference between ice cream and gelato?
$8. Yeah. yeah. All right. Well, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to meeting you for the first time. Again, I told you I'm only 4'2", so that it's going to take you a minute to get used to that. But forced perspective, if I'll seem much taller when I meet you.
Yeah, well, and I'm 397 pounds, so
the camera does take away 200.
That's why I wear black.
Sure,
makes me look thinner.
That's also the thing too. It's like when we go to these events and it's so many gray beard beige people that it's like I was watching the Eddie Awards and it's just like a sea of middle-aged white guys with backpacks. And I'm like,
yeah,
they're all wearing the black T-shirt and they're very uncomfortable with eye contact.
A lot of
our people.
I think we'll see a lot of Hawaiian shirts and cargo pants or cargos at this show. So
yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to hanging out with you, just not even at the show, when we go and destroy Madison and get our tattoos and karaoke. And I think I found an axe throwing place we'll go to.
I love that. I love axe throwing. I can't do too much of it. About a half hours where my wrist. There's one by me. We've gone over for half an hour. It's like my arm is killing me, and I need to be able to draw. Two-handed. I can probably do that for an hour, but
we'll go. Yeah, we'll go to the college and hang out. Meet some sorority chicks, and
that sounds like a very reasonable plan.
Yeah, I'm a great planner. I'm a horrible executioner.
Cut to it's 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Back at the room.
Conley, turn off your light. I want to go to sleep.
I don't want to move. Yeah. Can you keep that down? Can you keep the typing down? I'm trying to nap. Yeah, this is this should be fun. There's a bunch of people here I definitely want to meet.
Yeah.
But I'm just excited. I mentioned I got my copy of Unearthed Arcana. I'm gonna beg Mr. Easley to sign. I mean, hopefully he'll sign over the $3.98 sticker from the used bookstore I got this from. Yeah, one of my favorite images in D&D and fantasy, and he did it, and you stare at that all day and have done so. But are you bringing anything like that? Do you have anybody that you want to meet that you want to? I mean, I know you and Perkins go way back.
Yeah, I met him, and I'm looking at my DM's guide that I bought. So I got 2 DM's guides now because I bought one at the show and had him sign it.
Oh, you did have him sign it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, good. That's lovely.
Yeah, I've got a signed DM's guide by Chris Perkins. So, yeah, there are plenty of people, who I want, people in the industry who, if I'm going to be, like I say, I want to be D&D famous, I want them to put a face to the name, and then, hopefully.
So you kind of view it in a way like the old, kind of like the classic comic book conventions where you would meet people. It's different. It's so weird. You go to comic book conventions now, and there's like, people would go there to meet editors and the bigwigs at DC and Marvel, and you think, okay, this person now knows me. When I reach out to them later on, they'll have a face that they can connect. Because they talk about, to be successful in these kind of fields, you should be nice, talented. Well, you got 2 or 3. You got talented and on time. And
ooh, yeah, I'm on time. Well, no, that depends. It might.
Well, I think you got nice covered, and I think you got talented covered, and I think you got on time covered. I think you're fine. But if you got to have 2 of those, at least 2 of those things, and part of the, getting known as being nice is meeting these people. Mm-hmm. And so in comics, that opportunity doesn't exist because the editors aren't, it used to be they were all congregated in New York because that's where all the publishing was. Now they're remote workers all over the country. There isn't that central location. If it is, it's at San Diego Comic-Con, and good luck because they already have their meetings planned out for the next 4 years. You're not gonna bump into them. Mm-hmm. There's no central bar like it used to be. Like again, Heroes Con. I remember going to Heroes Con or Baltimore or SPX. Actually SPX still has the bar, but there was a bar and everybody was there. And even
San Diego had the Marriott.
Right. Do they still?
It's been a while since I've been,
But even as a wallflower, you could sit there and go, oh, cool, that's Walt Simonson, or oh, cool, that's.
Yeah, it was like that. I mean, I remember doing that in Chicago too, for when Wizard World was there. There was that. What was the name of that sports bar that was in the hotel across the ramp or something? And everybody just went there. I remember Lou Ferrigno shoved me out of his way there. And
that's excellent. Oh yeah, and Mid Ohio had the same thing. Like
mm-hmm.
it was in the whatever that was. Like it wasn't a convention center. It was
a hotel.
Yeah. So everyone was in the bar. It was really awesome. And I don't think that's just rose-colored glasses or nostalgia. I really think it was much more practical, and you can meet people.
Because I remember when I brought Superhero Happy Hour before Marvel and DC made me change the name to Hero Happy Hour. The year I brought that book there and I handed it out to professionals. That was my business card. Right. Like, look, I did a book from.
That's so good.
Yeah. I'm not handing you a script. I'm handing you a finished comic book here.
Yeah.
And, Scott Morse had done the cover for me out of the, graciousness of his heart.
Graciousness.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
And Scott Morse, for folks who don't know, Pixar artist, incredibly talented painter. The Magic Pickle?
Magic Pickle. I've got an original Magic Pickle somewhere. I got a page and a sketch, but yeah, I got one of his original Magic Pickle pages. Yeah. And then I've got the cover. You can't see it. It's hanging on the original cover he painted for Superhero Happy Hour. The first issue is hanging on my wall back here.
Excellent. But a lovely guy. But you're saying that's where you met him?
Well, no, I met him on the Bendis board, and like a year or 6 months before this San Diego Comic-Con, I asked him, hey, can you do a cover for me? And he says, well, I'm ready to do it. I got a plain board taped to my table. I'm waiting to hear from Marvel about the Elektra cover, and they're not getting back to me. So yeah, I'll do your cover for you right now. And
That's amazing.
He didn't charge me anything for it. And then so when I brought the book and gave him the finished book, I go, here's the book. He bought me a beer and goes, congratulations on being a pro.
That's awesome.
And that was the bar scene at the Marriott, That's
yeah. That's awesome.
It was. So yeah.
It feels like Gamehole might have some of that magic where it can be a small enough event. I don't know if there's a bar at the. I'm not sure if there seems like there's these satellite hotels. I don't know if there's a single place that people go and drink afterwards.
We will find it.
Okay.
And we will be part of it. We will hold court.
Is that what you do? Because a second ago you were saying you're kind of introvert. I can't get a bead on your social. Cause I don't know if because it could be a thing where it's like your Popeye. I think it's going to be like you might have one setting and then you might have another setting, and I don't know. I don't know where it's going to be.
Oh, that's the fun thing about doing a show with Dan.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
We're going to end up in Canada somewhere. Oh, what the hell happened?
I don't have a passport. I can't get home.
But yeah, it's going to be good times, and but yeah, I just looking forward to meeting everybody and making connections, and because that's part of being a creative is
yeah, I'm hoping
the networking, the connections, and the camaraderie.
Yeah, I'm hoping to find some cool stuff too. I really want to get a print or something like that from Jeff Easley. I was looking at it, the Gamehole Con website. I want to talk to them because I want to help them. There's like none of the vendors or exhibitors or artists or authors, and there's not 80 of them. There aren't 80 things to keep track of here, and they don't seem to be changing. It's not like a lot of last minute swappings of if people have their booth, they're gonna be there. Those could be links to people's websites so you can find out more about them. As it is now, I'm going to the artist and exhibitor. I find their name. I've got to copy it, go to Google, paste it, and type in plus RPG or plus. And because are they illustrators? Are they authors? There's no indication of what they are. Some of the names of companies have very vague or almost generic names. Like one of them has a name that's also like a common machine acronym, like machining acronym. So I can't find anything about them. All I know is that
you do way more research than I do.
Well, I'm curious about who's going to be there. Like, who do because I hate to go these things and go and leave. I know it's a 4-day show and only 80 vendors, so it shouldn't be too hard for me to meet everybody. But if I do 20 a day, I could do it. But I don't want to leave there going, I missed out on that thing. The toughest thing about being at the table is going to be there are some really cool panels going on. Like you're going to a Perkins panel, you're probably going to go to all these different things. There's a chance to, and enjoy the show. I think that's that's pretty awesome. But I can't do that. I can't be away from my table for an hour.
Well, I'll sit on your table for a while.
Oh well, I'm not gonna. I have not scheduled anything to do. The one thing I wanted to do was there was Mastering Dungeons has a podcast. I enjoy it. I listen to it every week for the last 10 weeks or so. I got into it, and they have a recording 8 a.m. on Thursday, and I'll be at the hall sweating my booth. Like, how do I gotta where's everything gotta go?
Where's Dan with my boxes?
And I'll pack enough stuff just in case. I presume, what time do you get in?
We'll see. I don't know. Like I maybe when it opens.
Gotcha.
Like 10-ish.
So I'll be there, and I'll try. I'll have some stuff to set up, but mostly it's going to be a thing of like, well, should I move the stickers over 2 inches this way? It's a lot of that kind of noodling for like 45 minutes of sweating it for no reason whatsoever. Oh, I'd sell way more books if I stacked one left to right instead of right to left or something dumb.
I just onto the table.
I know. You're a cavalier, and I am. I'm an idiot.
That's why I hang out with you. Makes me look better.
Fair. That's fair. It's my charm.
All right. What else we got? Anything?
I don't think so. I'm going to try to finish this Prayer's Handbook cover before we go. I want to have a table standee where I've got a QR code for people to sign up for that. I'll have stickers for it. So if somebody signs up to be notified when it goes live, they can get a sticker.
I've got little color flyers, like half, even like a little bit half in a legal size,
Okay.
that color nice about our show that we're having Friday night. So we'll have a couple of those flyers, and hey, you want us here? Well, I will be demonstrating the character in Toxomancer here.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'll absolutely, and I'll hand that to everyone who buys anything or comes by the table.
And it's just a couple because our show's Friday night. We won't need them Saturday or Sunday. So
right, and I love that. I love having stuff like that at the table because when people come by, like in these artist alley situations, it feels like everyone's like, "Can I have some money? Can I have some money?" And I hate that part of it. I like to tell people about it, and if they don't buy anything, like, but check it out online, and here's a flyer. Hope to see you Friday night. That sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. But because I'm hoping Saturday you sell out of books after everyone sees the show Friday.
I'm hoping I sell out Thursday, and then I just spend the rest of the weekend just going to games and just sitting in the periphery and watching people play various systems that I've never seen before.
I'm also looking forward to that. I want to hopefully learn a few systems. There's so many new systems lately that I'm way behind on. I buy them. I own a bunch of games. I just don't know how to play them because I'm too busy creating my own games.
Right, but there could be certainly something that could be inspiring your next system, or but hopefully next year I'll have 4 or 5 books maybe by the time we do Gamehole Con, and then maybe that's worthy of me having a booth. Or
I think that's worthy.
Yeah, we'll see. I feel like if they do well, and if the bottom doesn't drop out of 5e, or it's such a weird time, but thankfully the more they seem to pull back on giving up on 5e, really truly making it because it was like, oh, we're gonna make the next thing compatible with 5e, and then they just progressively added more things that were not compatible, and now they've backtracked on most of it. The fixes I do like is stuff like fighter. There's they talked about if a fighter misses with an attack, they get advantage on the next roll. Like the idea being that, okay, I missed, but that wasn't wasted. The idea of feeling like you've wasted your turn is like getting rid of the pain of that, because that hurts so much when it's just having DM'd a handful of games when players just keep rolling 4, and the monster has like 1 hit point left, and they're just spending 15 minutes. Nope, missed. It's like, ugh, dumb game, because you can't on the fly reduce its armor class or just have it grab its. I guess I could have had it grab its little chest and fall dead, but
wait till you see how I DM on Friday night.
I watched the streams, but I have no idea what it'll be like face to face. Also, I'm very deferential to other players, so I might be a loudmouth here, but I'll be very. I'll let Mr. Forbeck and the others shine.
No, this is your coming out party.
Ideally, no one will know I was there.
I sound like me. Well, I just said I want to make a big splash, but
excellent.
I will probably just show up and hand out my card to 3 people, even though I printed 50 of them, and then just.
I'm excited about you being D&D famous.
Yeah, I'll bring you along with me.
I'm good. I want to make my little books.
Hey, a Lone Ranger needs his Tonto, so.
Main character syndrome is what that's called. We're all main characters. We're just different main characters.
All right, we got anything else, or are we good for this special Saturday edition?
No, that was great.
All right.
We were oddly more energized than normal. I think on Sundays we're like,
yeah,
or at least I am.
But yeah, we will be we're changing Mazes and Muses to like a weeknight, maybe. Is that what we're thinking?
I don't know yet. We'll talk about it at our annual summit, our annual Mazes and Muses summit.
There you go. Which we'll be holding in some sort of lobby bar.
Mazes and Muses in Madison.
Yeah.
And we'll have a big bowl of M&Ms.
We'll have a bowl of M&Ms. Find us with the bowl of M&Ms. That's what we should have. We should have had custom M&Ms for Mazes and Muses.
You just buy M&Ms and say they are. We don't have to do a thing.
But you can make custom.
Sure, but what
M&Ms.
will we put on them? M's?
Well, RMs.
Oh. So anyone who's really got good eyesight and a love of fonts will know how personalized they are.
Let me have this, Steve.
I should have just brought some and said I made them.
All right, so we will be at come see us at Gamehole Con, and we'll hand you some M&Ms. Maybe I got to go look up custom M&Ms rush job right now.
They're weird about food. I saw that as vendors. They're weird about food vending. At the
All
event.
shows are, yeah.
Yeah.
But after at our lobby bar,
I got all my tax paperwork from Madison. I had to get all that done.
Ooh, I hate dude. I never did.
I never did that. You're such a pirate.
What are they going to do? Hunt me down? And
there was you know what, the Wisconsin Department of Revenue coming after you? They're reeking of cheese.
The cheese tax. All right, we better get out of here before we get in trouble.
All right, yes, sir.
Hey, thanks for tuning in, whether you're watching us live or whether you're watching us on demand, like anyone's demanding this show.
This is the pre-D&D famous version of Dan. Enjoy it while you can.
And we hope to see everybody at Gamehole Con. Hopefully we plug Gamehole Con enough that when people search Gamehole Con, this video will come up somehow, some way. Other than that, may all of you, especially you there, Kevin, make your saving throws.